Hey, I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue, and after my triumph over my friend Al from Eat More Vegans on our Big Green Egg versus Kamado Joe battle, the winner prize here is Al's going to walk me through his most popular video and one of his favorite recipes, which is going to be lamb shoulder, but we're going to do it on the Kamado Joe. So we're ready to get going. Al, why don't you walk us through your #1 video here, lamb?
Yeah, so this is my favorite recipe, so I'm really excited that it's the #1 video.
Yeah.
So we actually started this last night, where we started by scoring the lamb. So cutting that diamond pattern in the lamb, that's really important because we want to get salt and flavor in.
Right.
And not just during the cooking process, but during the overnight dry brine that I know you do a lot on your steaks, do the same thing on the lamb. But then also we prepared last night a compound butter. I called this my Simon and Garfunkel compound butter because it's butter made with parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. So chopped each of those up, toasted them in a pan on the burner so that we could bring out the aroma, and then melted the butter on top of that and infused it, and boy, it smelled so good. I wish your audience could smell how good that was.
It's a good smelling butter.
Yeah, and then while the lamb dry brined overnight in the refrigerator, we let that butter cool overnight and then melted it to just a little bit more than room temperature. And we're up here in the Great White North, so we had to go inside for to achieve room temperature. But now we've got that butter ready to get on the lamb and do a traditional smoke on the lamb. But I guess we gotta get started by getting a grill fired up, and since I'm a loser.
So welcome to Team Red. It's been a pleasure doing the battle with you. And if you want, oh hi.
You don't want any more of mine?
You want the best one? All right, that's okay. Go ahead. That's it for today. I'm James from Smokin' Dad Barbecue signing off.
And
I can take care of that part.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So I've got to learn how to set up a Kamado Joe, and maybe this is a good opportunity for you to teach me, so when I get home and get a Kamado Joe to replace my Big Green Egg, that I'll know how to set it up.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you,
let's
sir.
go fire it up. Okay, I've already cleaned out our Joe, added some smoking wood and charcoal on top. Now for temperature, what do we want to target today for the perfect lamb shoulder?
I like to cook at 250, max 275. I like to keep it in that range.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm excited to share with you is something that I've been really happy with the results of. I call it the double indirect setup. And so one of the reasons that we pick these lower temperatures is to avoid overcooking the bottom. If we go above that, we get a nice clean fire, but overdone bottom. So we're going to set up with double indirect, which just means using 2 forms of heat deflectors. Since I'm on the Series 3 Kamado Joe today, I have the slow roller and heat deflector plates, and I'm going to start by putting the slow roller in, the deflector plates on the X accessory rack, my drip pan from smokeware, and then my cooking grates. And that's going to give us the ability to run the same temperature, but make that fire work a little bit harder for the same temperatures and turn out a great result.
Okay, now if I get a Series 2 Big Joe, can I get a slow roller for that, or do I need to go with the more expensive Series 3?
No, I actually, right behind you is my Series 1, and so I've done a bunch of tests. So not only can you get the slow roller for the Series 1, Series 2, you can just skip this and even use deflector plates. And so I've tested this with deflector plates or a spare pizza stone. You just treat it like you would a pizza. It works just the same way, where you have your deflector stones, a small air gap, and another stone, and you can turn out results that are near identical on Series 1, Series 2. So that's what I would do if I were you.
Okay, that's my plan.
Let's fire it up. Okay, Al, we're ready to get the lamb on the grill. What temperature should we be setting our meter up for tracking today's cook?
So this is going to be a 2-stage cook, similar to how you would do a pork shoulder, right? So you're typically going to wrap at around 160 degrees or so once the bark is set. So I'd set it now for 160, and then once we see the bark is set and we wrap it, we would set the meter again, then for a 200, 203 to see how close we can get.
All right, well, let's get this on the grill. See you in a couple hours. Okay, let's take a look, Al. We've been on for about 4 hours, so what should we see at this point?
Oh, we should see exactly this. Look how the fat is popping, and as we touch it, none of this is coming off. This is dry, which means we've developed a bark on top of the fat. This is ready. Now at this point, I would wrap.
Okay.
Now I would wrap it in foil completely and capture all those juices. I know you don't do a lot of foil wraps anymore on your channel.
I think we can actually get even more, concentrate our doneness just on the top. So I think we should do a boat.
Okay, let's do it. I would, by the way, can we turn this and just show them this other side? Because that is a thing of beauty right there. And you can see exactly what this is supposed to look like now. We didn't lose moisture. All this fat is nice and plump. I think a boat's gonna be really nice. I think you're gonna get a nice texture on top of there. All right, I'll step out of the way so you can do that.
And I'll take you guys fast forward while we get this in a boat. Let's close this up.
Hang on, before you close it, do you want to put the meter back in?
Yep. Okay, so we've got this in a boat, and just like a sweater, you want this nice and snug, so you get the benefit of it helping reduce our cook time, but at the same time allowing our fat cap to continue render and collect any of those juices. They will fall down into our boat here. So let's close this up and let's keep cooking. Our lamb is looking amazing, so we've checked it for probe tenderness. After we pulled it off, let it rest for an hour, it's time to shred it up. So Al, why don't you do the honors and we'll dive in for our taste test.
My favorite part.
All right, watching that be shredded up look absolutely amazing. So since you're the expert, you're teaching me how to do this, what should we look for to tell if we got it right or if there's something we want to tweak?
So we're looking for a texture similar to a pulled pork, right? We want it to be that kind of tender, easy to pull apart, which you saw.
Yeah, how did
it was. Well, it felt really good.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite things is to hand pull. Like I don't ever use those claws to do because it just feels so good. But then you're going to find when you taste this, it should have a much more rich flavor and kind of an unctuous experience way beyond what you're going to get with a pulled pork.
Absolutely.
All right, you ready to try it?
I'm ready to try it. I can tell it smells good. You can't see on camera, but Bella is just sitting here giving us the stare down. So why don't we grab a piece?
All right. So I like the bark, so I'm gonna grab this. Oh, I got a little bit right there. All right. That looks good.
I'm gonna do the same.
All right. Cheers.
You're not wrong.
You see what I mean by unctuous?
I don't know why people give lamb a bad rap. That's amazing.
It really is delicious, and the way that we made it, you know, I mean, good high quality Canadian lamb didn't hurt, but you're adding the boat. I think I'm gonna try that.
That worked really well. We got a bit more bark on the top. Really happy with that.
Yeah.
As you said, it's got a lushness to it that you don't get with even pulled pork or shredded beef. In particular, just a lot more juiciness, and I think the boat helped retain it. Yeah. That bark is great smoke ring.
And not hard to do. If you can make a pork butt, you can do this. The only thing we did was make a compound butter, and that's a 10 or 15 minute process that anybody can do, right?
Well, why don't we take that inside, get some taco shells or something like that, make some dinner.
Absolutely.
And thanks everyone for hanging out with both Al and I today. I'm James from Smoky Dad Barbecue signing off. Remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.
Do you want me to say that with you?
Well, thanks for hanging out with both Al and I today. So that's it. I'm James from Smoky Dad Barbecue signing off. And remember, don't be afraid to fire it up.